issue. The other thing that the Galfons did, which you said, is they got rid of HUDs and are replacing it with dynamic avatars. I don't know if you read up on this.
I read that it was. I didn't think that was significant, but maybe I should go back and read it.
It is. So dynamic avatars are going to be a form of HUD that everyone gets and is a simplified HUD, basically.
Okay.
So they will have expressions for the avatars. So you'll be assigned like a random avatar.
Yeah.
And the avatar will display an expression that basically displays how you've played relative to the person that is seeing your avatar. So, like, if you sit at the table with me...
I guess I should have read it.
If you sit at the table with me and you play super crazy, from my perspective, the avatar that's displayed for you is going to look like a crazy person.
That's pretty funny.
And if I'm playing rock tight,
yeah,
you're going to see a something that indicates like that I'm a huge nit, like maybe a guy on his
elephant,
like a guy on his iPad at the table, like clearly not paying attention to
it. But
it.
if you're super crazy and he's less crazy, then it won't be a crazy person.
So, but he'll see a crazy person. Now, here's the really weird thing: if I sit down and play crazy for the first 30 hands, heads up against you, Ryan, you'll see a crazy person. Now Wayne joins the table, and suddenly I change to playing tight. For a while, you'll still see me as a crazy person, while Wayne will see me as a tight person. So each person sees different dynamic avatars based on the hands that they've played against that person.
That's weird.
That's interesting.
It's like very fair.
Yeah. It's basically just they're telling you what your perception is.
Yeah. Everyone will understand it much better than I think everyone understood HUDs. I think HUDs were much more specialized to...
more numbers people.
Yeah, people who are more nerdy or number-oriented in general. And I think that turned a lot of people off of HUDs. It's just like huge banks of numbers.
Yeah.
This is way less sophisticated and way more fair to the field. And so this is a good like level playing field leveler.
It's kind of like from coding to like emojis, kind of like
and it's sort of fun too. Like the way they're doing it is lighthearted and fun, and I think that's a really good approach.
Yeah. So to add on what you said, is like it's intimidating for people to play on HUDs, and then as soon as people see like streamers using HUDs, like casual recreational players all of a sudden get really intimidated to play, which they should, but to an extent where it's like, oh damn, Skynet and Terminators are coming. Like I'm not gonna go against this, which is it's there are ways to like learn about the HUDs and apply them yourselves, but it is true, like if you're against somebody who's really good with that stuff, you're kind of at a very big disadvantage.
Yep. So I think this is a great thing. I mean, I've just been pumped for the site to come out in general. I think Galfon's doing his best to make something that's fair and...
Well, what he says is he's not against HUDs. He just wants to create a new dynamic that, makes things like, more accessible to the general poker public for, pros and recreational players alike. So that's why I wanted to ask you about it when we came on. Because I knew, we would have strong opinions on something like this.
Israeli Ron said, what is a HUD?
So, I saw that. I was just about to get to that. So, for those out there who have no idea what we're talking about, HUDs are known as are short for heads-up displays, and they're something that you can download and displays on your table while you play online a large number of statistics about how your opponents each play their hands. So
and your own hands too.
And your own hands. Yeah. So it basically tracks every single hand that you play and your opponents play when you're at the table with them, and then spits it out into itemized like spreadsheet style but easily accessible format where you're able to really break down exactly all of their tendencies and the way they play their hands.
So so as you're playing, you could have like an abridged version next to their name, and then when you have time and you're not playing, there's just like more numbers than you can even want. So like Live at the Bike, there's a very simplified version. It has the seed, the stack, VPIP, volume put in a pot, PFR, pre-flop raise, aggression frequency, win to showdown, and how much you win or lose. Those are just very simplified versions. Like if you want to, I don't know, the number, there's like 40 different numbers or something.
Oh, no, there's way more than 40.
Oh, back then, I stopped using
Poker Tracker 4 has just like a ridiculous number of statistics. Yeah. Everything that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's like...
is itemized, and if you want it, you can find it. So if you really, it's only crazy guys that need all of these numbers, but those are the guys who are like have annihilated the highest stakes
online.
Because
how many can you display at once?
Guys like Ben Tollerine and Ben Solsky are guys who have figured out ways to really build huge samples and understand how to use these very
I'm done.
specified
I'm
statistics.
So most of
That's
it,
why I'm playing live.
do most
now.
of the HUDs allow you to see everything at once, or are you just picking the primary things that you want to see over your
you
game?
primary.
you get to customize your HUD to whatever you want it to look like. So
Right.
it's completely customizable, and so you can have it display just 3 statistics, or you can have it display 300 statistics
wow.
if you want on click-throughs.
Usually back then we do like
So-
6 to 8.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
it's
No-
mainly like after the session you could just reanalyze everything and just like come back fresh because you see the same faces over and over again when you play the same stakes. So you come back basically with plans.
Yeah, but I mean, there are really, if you the types of in-depth, to just give an example of an in-depth way that one goes about it, you would look up like how often someone is like floating you and then betting the turn on like paired boards.
Yeah.
And like on like low paired boards. Like that's a statistic that you might be really interested in, when this guy's calling my c-bet, in position on 2-2-7 and then betting the turn, like, how often is he doing this so that like how often he's full of shit or not.
Right.
And like that's going to differ so widely from player to player, and so it's such a nice statistic to have when that situation comes up.
Or even like something like jamming on the flop that's a 2 flush flop or a draw heavy flop. It's just like you could really narrow down whether they have a made hand or they're doing like a semi bluff or stuff like that. That's something I think way back in the day, like Prolad Friedman, obviously balances made hands like 2 pair plus versus like semi bluff hands, and that's one of the lower level ways you balance your range, and then of course things get more and more complicated.
All right.
I want to bring Nick on now because Nick only has a few minutes.
Okay.
And also, I want to make sure the sound works here.
Plus no more HUD talk. Like
Yeah.
we don't want this stuff. This stuff's bad for poker. So
What's up, Nick? You
we're
there?
happy to get rid of it.
I don't think the chat can hear.